The year is 2045. World War III had reshaped the globe. Nations were shattered. Britannia, once a mighty empire, was now a desolate wasteland ruled by the iron fist of the Anglo Federation. The Federation, obsessed with order and control, had stripped away freedoms. They enforced their will with an army of drones and genetically enhanced soldiers. Dissent was met with swift and brutal punishment. Cornwall, a land steeped in ancient Celtic pride and renowned for its rugged beauty, suffered beneath the Anglo yoke. The Federation, hungry for resources, had transformed Cornwall into a mining colony. Its people, once fiercely independent, were forced to toil in hazardous conditions. They extracted rare minerals for the Federation's war machines. Hope, it seemed, had dwindled with the setting sun each day. The Cornish people, known for their resilience and connection to the land, refused to be broken. They clung to their heritage. They whispered tales of their ancestors, of giants and kings, of an indomitable spirit that no empire could crush. The spirit of rebellion, like a smouldering ember, awaited the breath of change. Deep in the mines, beneath the crushing weight of the earth and the watchful eyes of the drones, a spirit of defiance flickered. The Cornish miners, their faces smeared with sweat and grime, whispered stories of their heritage, legends of King Arthur, tales of giants and piskies. These stories, passed down through generations, spoke of courage, of resilience, of a time when Cornwall stood strong against its enemies. These whispers of rebellion did not go unnoticed. The Anglo Federation, ever vigilant, sensed the growing unrest. They tightened their grip on Cornwall, increasing patrols, imposing harsher curfews. They believed that fear could extinguish the flames of defiance, but they underestimated the spirit of the Cornish people, for they had forgotten one crucial truth: oppression breeds resistance. Among the miners, a new breed of warrior began to emerge. Strong and unyielding, forged in the crucible of hardship, they were known as the Sons of Cornwall. Bound by brotherhood and fueled by a burning desire for freedom, they swore an oath to liberate their homeland. They trained in secret, honing their bodies and minds, preparing for the day they would rise against their oppressors. The Sons of Cornwall, led by the charismatic and cunning Dillon ap Trevelyan, became a beacon of hope for the oppressed Cornish. Dillon, a former miner himself, possessed a sharp intellect and an unwavering belief in his people. He understood that to defeat the technologically superior Anglo Federation, they needed more than just brute strength. They needed a miracle. Word of the Sons of Cornwall spread through the mines, carried on the backs of exhausted miners and whispered in hushed tones. Dillon's vision resonated with the Cornish people, igniting a spark of hope in their weary hearts. They began to resist in small ways: sabotage in the mines, coded messages on walls, a refusal to yield to the despair the Federation sought to impose. The Anglo Federation, sensing the growing defiance, responded with brutal efficiency. They deployed more troops, increased surveillance, and made examples of those suspected of rebellion. But the harder they squeezed, the more the Cornish spirit resisted. Like water finding its way through cracks in a dam, the rebellion grew stronger, fueled by the shared dream of a free Cornwall. One fateful night, as the stars twinkled over the Cornish coast, a strange object fell from the sky. It crashed into the sea, sending a tremor through the earth and a ripple of excitement through the Cornish underground. Dillon, guided by intuition and ancient lore, knew this was the miracle he had been waiting for. The object, salvaged under the cover of darkness, turned out to be a relic of a forgotten age, a derelict spacecraft, its technology far surpassing anything known to the Anglo Federation. Dillon, with the help of a few trusted engineers, began to unlock the secrets of the craft. He believed it held the key to Cornwall's liberation. The spacecraft, dubbed the Sea Queen, became a symbol of hope for the Cornish people and a source of fear for the Anglo Federation. Rumours of its existence spread like wildfire, bolstering the ranks of the rebellion and striking fear into the hearts of the Anglo overlords. The balance of power was shifting, and the stage was set for a confrontation that would determine the fate of Cornwall. Section 5, forged in fire and steel, yielded its secrets, well, slowly but surely. Dillon and his engineers, working tirelessly in hidden workshops, managed to activate parts of its advanced technology. They discovered functional weapons systems, powerful energy shields, and even a rudimentary form of powered armor. This, right here, was the birth of the Cornish Space Marines. The first volunteers, chosen from the ranks of the Sons of Kurnow, underwent a grueling training regimen. They pushed their bodies and minds to the absolute limit, mastering the use of their newfound technology. They became one with their armor, their movements a blur of speed and power. They were no longer just miners and farmers, they were the vanguard of a new era. The Anglo Federation, alarmed by rumors of the Cornish Space Marines, launched a series of brutal crackdowns. They raided villages, rounded up suspects, and attempted to crush the rebellion before it could fully blossom. But the Cornish people, inspired by the bravery of the Space Marines, fought back with a ferocity born of both desperation and hope. The battle for freedom's dawn, as it would later be known, began at dawn on a day that would forever be etched in Cornish history. The Anglo Federation, confident in their superior numbers and technology, launched a full-scale assault on the main rebel base hidden deep within the Cornish countryside. But oh, they underestimated the resolve of the Cornish people and the might of the Space Marines. The Space Marines, clad in their salvaged armor and armed with energy weapons salvaged from the fought with a fury that shocked the Anglo forces. They moved with lightning speed, their armor deflecting bullets and laser blasts. They struck from the shadows, disappearing into the dense forests, only to reappear and unleash havoc upon their enemies. The Cornish people, inspired by the bravery of the Space Marines, rose up in open revolt. They attacked Anglo patrols, sabotaged their equipment, and provided cover for the Space Marines. The tide of the battle was turning. The Anglo Federation, bogged down in a guerrilla war they were ill-equipped to fight, found themselves on the defensive. For generations, the Cornish had endured the stench of oppression, the literal and metaphorical stink of the mines, the choking fumes of Anglo factories, the pervasive odor of fear and despair. But as the Anglo Federation reeled from the ferocity of the Cornish resistance, a new scent began to fill the air, the smell of freedom. The battle for freedom's dawn raged for weeks, but the spirit of the Cornish people, bolstered by the might of the Space Marines, proved unbreakable. One by one, Anglo strongholds fell. Their drones were shot down, their tanks disabled, their soldiers either captured or forced to retreat. The air, once thick with the stench of oppression, was cleansed by the fires of rebellion. The turning point came when Dylan ap Trevelyan, clad in a suit of modified Space Marine armor and wielding an energy sword that pulsed with an otherworldly light, led a daring raid on the main Anglo command center. He fought his way through waves of elite soldiers, his armor deflecting bullets and laser blasts, his sword cutting a swathe through the enemy ranks. He reached the command center and, with a final blow, disabled the Anglo communication network, throwing their forces into disarray. With their communication network crippled and their morale shattered, the Anglo Federation forces were routed. They fled back to their strongholds in the east, leaving behind a trail of broken machines and shattered dreams of conquest. The Cornish people, after generations of oppression, were finally free. The victory came at a cost. Many brave Cornish sons and daughters had fallen in the fight for freedom, but their sacrifice paved the way for a new era for Kurnow. The stench of oppression was gone, replaced by the salty tang of the sea and the sweet scent of gorse in bloom. The Cornish people, their spirits unbroken, set about rebuilding their homeland. The once a symbol of hope now served as a beacon of Cornish ingenuity. Its technology was studied, adapted, and integrated into Cornish society. The Space Marines, hailed as heroes, became the guardians of their newfound freedom, their ranks swelling with each passing season. They stood watch over the land, ensuring that the tyranny of the Anglo Federation would never again darken their shores. In the years that followed, Cornwall flourished. Freed from the shackles of oppression, they rebuilt their land, embracing their heritage and forging a new destiny among the stars. The legacy of the Battle Brothers, those first brave souls who donned the salvaged armor and took to the skies, lived on in the hearts of every Cornish man, woman and child. The tale of the Cornish Space Marines, of their defiance against a technologically superior foe, became a beacon of hope for oppressed people across the globe. It served as a reminder that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit, fueled by courage, determination, and a love of freedom, could overcome any obstacle. The Cornish people, forever changed by their fight for liberation, had reclaimed their destiny, proving to the galaxy that they were smelly no more. And so the legend of the Cornish Space Marines was passed down through generations, a testament to the indomitable spirit of a people who refused to be broken, a symbol of hope in a galaxy teetering on the brink, a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, freedom was a fight worth fighting, for Kurnow, for freedom forever.